Alrighty, people. Alrighty. Man, last couple days have been absolute chaos. We spent a good portion of yesterday's stream getting you updated on all the free agency news. Full transparency, in case you're checking my rankings, I will not update them until everything is kind of more settled. It just feels too chaotic right now, signing by signing, to try and change your rankings. So I do plan on next week giving you guys updated running backs and wide receivers in Dynasty after free agency, because obviously some things have definitely changed, and excited to do that. But let's just give you an update here, on the what happened today side of things with free agency. Quickly talk about what that means for Dynasty football. We see you guys in the chat. Thanks for being here. What's up, Matthew? Matthew says, you ever seen a wet koala bear? I saw an image of one today, and it's a nightmare. Now I don't want to see one, Matthew. What's up, Albert? In the building. Styles is here. William, Faulty, WG. I got a laugh out of this. Says, was 20 minutes late. I knew I was early. What's up, K Money? Maddie Lowe. Dylan is in the building. No, more like overall Dynasty rankings, guys, for next week, with free agency changing, right? So, JSN ADP has no breaks. To the moon, baby. To the moon. But we appreciate y'all for being here with us. Be a friend. Hit that like button on today's stream. Goal is 50 likes with your help. I believe we can get there. But let's go ahead and have a little doozy over towards the updates from everything that happened today. Right, because it wasn't as drastic as yesterday, but there are still some things that have happened that have impacted Dynasty football. So let's have a quick little geese. All right, so as far as fantasy relevant names, something to monitor: Evan Ingram is visiting the Chargers on Tuesday. I think that would be a great fit. In a way, I hate it because I feel like if Loveland is there at 21, it feels like such a good fit. I would hope that it's Loveland going to the Chargers, but Evan would get a ton of life if he signed like a 2-year deal with the Chargers. I think he would be in arguably maybe a better situation than he was back there in Jacksonville. Bengals add offensive line help there. DeAndre Hopkins signs a 1-year deal with the Ravens. I don't know why this is a big deal for a lot of people. I saw a lot of media outlets saying breaking news with the alarms. Like, you got to know this. DeAndre Hopkins signs a 1-year, $6 million deal. 1 year, $6 million. I mean, that's pretty much the running back equivalent of like a $2 million deal if you look at these two markets, right? Yeah. Zay Flowers has been my most aggressive sell high this entire offseason. We've been seeing people get the 105 to the 108 for him. And if anything, this is terrible for DeAndre Hopkins. It hurts Rashad Bateman. It hurts Zay Flowers. I don't see how this helps anyone in this offense outside of Lamar Jackson. And I will say, this is the perfect landing spot for DeAndre Hopkins to slowly die in Dynasty football. This is the perfect landing spot for him to go from wide receiver 57 in rankings down to 70 by the end of the year, wide receiver 80. It couldn't have picked a better landing spot for that to happen. Okay, I'm being too rude, maybe. Ty Johnson re-signs with the Bills on a 2-year deal as a depth piece there. Nick Westbrook, eeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini, signs a 2-year deal to end up in Miami. But I'm not a rapper. Dr. Seuss in here. Yeah, means nothing, right, to us. But no. Nick Westbrook Akini, rest in peace, and thanks for your service. Jacoby Brissett with the Cardinals on a backup deal. Robert Tonyan to the Chiefs. I don't think it really means much personally for fantasy, but it did happen. The Giants pretty much feel like the destination for Aaron Rodgers. And, I guess I'll ask you, Badaki, any thoughts on that? Because it feels like you're very likely to go the Aaron Rodgers route right now based off everything we've seen.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern is the money. I think we spoke about it yesterday, and I just don't want to pay him a big bag. I think for what you were saying is a pretty good deal. 17 million, 15 million a year for Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. I don't think
Well,
that's going to be the case.
Justin got 20, so let's say 20.
I just think it's Aaron Rodgers, and the name holds value and holds weight, and I don't think he's going to want to have anything less than what Justin Fields has got. Personally, I could be wrong. I think it's going to be.
I hear you. I
significantly
just
more.
think he played the worst he's ever played last year, so I don't think he's going to net some $40 million contract. I don't think that's possible.
If I had to guess, I think it would be more like 25, 26, 27,
Okay.
which I think is already too much. Give me
Sure.
Russell Wilson for, I think, the 17, the 15.
Right.
Like, I'd rather pay Russell Wilson, get a quarterback, and see what happens.
It wouldn't be negative for Malik Neighbors, so it wouldn't. Can't say it'd be positive, but it wouldn't be negative. Juwan Jennings stays with the Saints. Yeah,
I'm surprised he
boring.
even got a contract. I'll be honest with you.
$10 million a year. He's one of those glue guys for them. I think he's a glue guy.
He's been injured.
Hey,
it's way too much.
Can we talk about it? Are we ready to say that JJ McCarthy's the starter? I know we were on opposite sides of this one.
We were. I mean, my argument was that I thought Sam Darnold's going to stay. Obviously he is gone, but there's even conversations Aaron Rodgers could go to the Vikings. Not saying that's going to happen, just saying the fact that that's in the air. It's like, are they ready for JJ? Are they not ready for JJ? Are they concerned about like what's going on?
Right.
Why is even that a conversation? You just drafted this guy top 15 last year. But yes, I mean, I think he's going to be the starter now with everyone out. But they do need a backup. He's the only quarterback on that roster.
I released a trade for video on the Dynasty channel about week 10 last year, and JJ became my favorite buy at quarterback from that moment onwards.
I wonder what.
And
he's on
I think the amount of people who have been able to tier down from the 102 to the 109 and get JJ, or send multiple seconds for JJ, or tier down, in a rebuild from a Mahomes for JJ and 2 firsts and those kind of deals. Those have been my favorite deals to structure with you guys all off season. If you were able to get on the JJ train before he was officially kind of, named or expected to be the starter, I guess, congratulations. It feels good. I have a lot of JJ on my rosters. I'm ready for him to take over this offense in 2025, and super excited. Colts, obviously they brought in Daniel Jones, and the funny part about this is they are saying they're preparing for an open quarterback competition. Can I be honest with you? Most times a coaching staff says that, you're like, I don't believe you. In this scenario, I very much believe them that it will be an open quarterback competition. I believe their words with 100% authenticity that it's probably going to be a quarterback competition, and I have no idea who's going to win. No idea, but it will be fun to watch. AJ Dillon's going to be back in 2025. Anything else here? It was a pretty underwhelming day compared to yesterday, let's be honest. John Allen went to the Vikings on a $60 million deal. Laramie Tunsil is just great for that entire Washington offense. Okay, so important on Naji Harris. So originally, the report was a 1-year deal up to $9.25 million. And people are like, 9.25? That's not a small number. That's significant. Well, reports came out today, and I retweeted this, that the deal is actually 1 year, $5.25 million with $4 million in incentives. That to me says, you're our next Gus Edwards. We will run the ball through you, but if you're not going to be effective and efficient and someone else is, they're going to get the opportunity. This does not say we're handing the keys to our backfield to Naji Harris to me. All right, $5.25 million. I mean, we've seen Alexander Madison get that kind of money from the Raiders, and that was before their running back meant more, this year to an NFL team. So don't rule out the Chargers getting another running back through the draft. I still think it's possible. In fact, it might open up a really great dip in ADP. Let's say in round 3, they go out and grab Cam Scatterboo or, Dylan Sampson or something. I think that could open up a really great dip in ADP in these drafts where you can buy him because people are like, well, Najee's there. And look, I think Naji could have a great year. You could see like a David Montgomery-esque season, but the money is telling me probably not as important as we first originally thought.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, last thing before we get into these team reviews, and we'll look at the chat, of course. I am recording a video tomorrow. Okay, I'll spam this in the chat. If you want to be featured in the video, now is your last chance to get some submissions in. If you've traded for or away a second-round rookie pick, then send a screenshot. Reply to this tweet, because I'm going to try to include as many of your tweets or trades as possible. I will say, like, some deals aren't going to be very helpful. Like, for example, some of these are great. But, for example, like this deal here, shout out to J-Love, appreciate you. But, like, it's not really going to be helpful. I see the 205 is involved in this deal. It's not really going to be helpful for me to tell you what the 205 is valued at. To say, well, one side got Travis, a first, Noah Gray. The other side got Brian Robinson and the 205. And so that kind of thing probably not as helpful if it's just this one piece in this huge package. But, for example, Noah, since, Ricky Pierce all the way from the 201. We'll talk about what we think about that in the future video. But that's like a great help to the video to understand the current value of these picks. So, again, recording that video tomorrow. If you want to be a part of it, make sure you reply to this tweet that I spammed in the chat. All right, today's stream is going to be completely built around reviewing people's Dynasty teams and getting them their Dynasty playbook. We have a little bit of a queue built up. Shout out to everybody who is showing love and supporting us on the Flock site. We are absolutely thrilled that you see the value in what we're able to offer. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you're out there and you're like, okay, hold on, what you said the playbook team, or what does any of that mean? Well, we offer something called the Dynasty Playbook, which is a customized game plan for your offseason. We'll give you customized trade targets, tell you what players to drop, sell, hold, what to do with your draft picks, become a LAND LAND promo code annual Mother Flocker member, or you can go to the Flock store if you're on a different promo code and purchase one a la carte. Just make sure you get that live tier if you want it done live, because right now the queue is building up. It's all based off demand. If you buy the offline one, that's okay. We'll do it offline. Some people actually prefer that. Nothing wrong with that. We actually have quite a few people who are doing offline right now. They love it.
That's right.
But if you prefer the live one, right now, because of the demand, probably have to get that live tier in order for us to honor it. It's, again, purely based off demand at this point in time. So you can check out the pinned comment in the chat. Again, flockfantasy.com/land. It is the best way to get your team playbook. But not only do you get the voucher, okay, so if you become an annual member, you get a voucher on your account, and you'll go through the store still, but you get that voucher, which takes $79 off the price. So it becomes $7 only for a live member. For a live review for our annual members. But you get our 2025 rookie report, which is on the Flock site right now. I think it's the best in the industry. We have put so much time and effort and TLC into it. Obviously, you get the playbook, you get the review, you get a free trade question voucher as well as a start sit voucher. You unlock our complete rankings, all the premium tools and historical databases and articles on the website. And of course, you're supporting us. You're keeping the lights on. Now, I assume there are people out there who are already on a promo code. Let's say you've used promo code FLOCK. Well, if you want to get your team playbook, you can still purchase one through the Flock store. I'll put that link in the chat now. But again, the link to become an annual member is pinned in the comment, and I will put that in there one more time before we go on to our first review of the night. I do want to shout some love to everybody in the chat. What's up, Captain Kirk in the building? Tyson's here. I'm going to be talking about Sam Darnold on a future video, so keep that in mind. What's up, Styles in the building? We've got Curtis in the building. Steven, we see ya. WG says 1 year commitment for Naji. Even Aaron got 2 years. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Aaron's contract, it's 2 years, $20 million. Naji's 1 year, 5.2. I think that speaks volumes. What's up, Anthony, Luke? We see you guys in the chat. But keep in mind, when you guys get your team playbook, we are going to do everything we can to prioritize you in that moment, right? It's your time to shine. So if you're out there and you have some questions, we will get to you, but we want to make sure that these people who have decided to purchase these team playbooks and support us, we want to make sure they really get their time to shine. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Do us a favor, hit that like button. Let's get into it. Starting off with a simple trade question here from Malfs93. You can submit a trade question on the website as well. That'll prioritize you at any point. Malf says, I need a quarterback. They could give me the 201. What are your thoughts? So, it looks like they'd be sending away Bucky Irving and Ladd McConkey. They would get back Bo Nix. I believe that's the 201, and Naji Harris. Now, I believe in the industry right now, in the consensus market, Ladd McConkey and Bo Nix are about even. Okay? I think if you look at a startup, they're going right beside each other. I think if you look at, let's just look at KTC, for example. If I put Ladd McConkey in here and I put Bo Nix in here, they're going to say fair trade. Okay? I think that's kind of how the community values it. And I can see why. So let's rule those out. And let's say the 201 and Naji Harris or Bucky Irving. To me, that is a landslide in Bucky Irving's favor. It's not even close. It's not even in the same stratosphere. I would pay the 201 and Naji Harris in every single Dynasty League I'm in to get Bucky Irving. Not even close, right? So let's get potentially a counter whipped up here. Let's have a look. So this team is the one that has Bucky. I'm assuming that is Malf's team here, right? This is Matthew, by the way.
On the left, yeah.
So
the one that has
he would be sending Bucky away, correct?
Yeah, he's sending Bucky and Ladd away.
Okay, so let's think about a counter here. Where is the team? It's Nick here. He has Bo Nix and JJ. Well, I don't even see Nix on his team.
I don't see Nix on his team.
Yeah. I don't see Nix on his team, but let's go ahead and try and look at a counter here. So if they want Bucky Irving, we can play ball, but the deal needs to be significantly more. Just so you know, I value Bucky around the 103 to the 104 this year. That's kind of the range I would value him at.
So Bo Nix is on B. Burf's team, by the way.
Say again.
B. Burke. Bo Nix is on B. Burke's 30s team.
Okay, so it must be notifying the wrong team then. B. Burke. Okay, so I assume this is the team, right? Because they have Nix and Naji. Okay, so I think the counter here is pretty simple. It would be Roma Dunze. I wonder what their first round pick is, but depending on what their first round pick is, that could be the counter. So my first counter would be, let's remove Naji, let's remove the mid-second, and let's make it Rome Odunze, right? Now I can't add this, but you're here. Here, okay, the Rome Odunze. So Odunze and Nix for Bucky and McConkey. That seems more fair to me. Now the other option here is we grab their first round pick this year, which I don't know how high that is, but let's assume that's the 107 or something. Oh, he has a 101. Well, that's not going to work.
Yeah, that's not going to work then.
Well, then it would have to be a Dunze in a
I think the Dunze was the perfect trade. That's pretty fair. Yeah.
If not, I think you need to add Tyrone Tracy to that deal that originally and don't take anything away. Like if they're not going to do the Odunze one, then I think you need to look at this 201 Naji, and I would ask for Tyrone Tracy as well, because then it becomes Tyrone Tracy, Naji Harris, and the 201 for Bucky Irving. That's more palpable. But currently constructed, I would not do this deal. I think Odunze is the fairest counter.
Completely agree. Thank you, Matthew, for that. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for submitting through the site, by the way, Matthew. I appreciate that, man. That's a great way to support. We're going to start with Boot 4186 Badaki. And I'm going to get a charger for my keyboard.
Yeah. All right. Boot, thank you so much for the support, brother. We really appreciate you. If I'm not mistaken, Ryan is away. And we're going to wait until he gets onto the live stream. He messaged us separately. He says, Boot, this is a 1 quarterback, 12 team start, 8 half PPR. So simple meat and potatoes. 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, which is pretty simple. He says, we just did our start of half PPR. I moved a couple guys and I'm looking to punt this season to get ready for the future. What should that strategy look like? Your team is called Let's Go and you're currently ranked 9 out of 12. Yeah. And let's have a look at this.
But I will say this league looks like it's probably not far off from their startup. There's a lot of...
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
We just did their startup.
My bad. Well, that makes sense because it looks very very even. But go ahead. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. I just looked at the team. My bad. Go ahead.
Having a look at the team here.
Oh, I feel bad.
Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields. Patty's good in one quarterback. Not the best, but at the running back position, Kendra May. Look, there's no one at the running back position. At the wide receiver position, Ayuk, Xavier, Jaden Reed, and the list goes on there. It's not the strongest wide receiver room either, with George Kittle at the tight end position. But you do have the 102, 103, 106, 111, and you have 2 first round picks in 26 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 27 or 26 seconds.
Yeah, and who knows what he has in 2027, right?
Yeah, so you definitely have some opportunities for some great.
This kind of reminds me of
moves.
Shout out to Gluten Freak. This kind of reminds me of what he did in the golf league.
Yeah,
and he cashed in on the 23 and 24 classes and built an absolute monster. Now those two classes happen to be pretty good, especially 2024. But that kind of feels like a similar team here. But honestly, I think we can give incredibly good advice on this and give you very clear, precise direction on where to move forward. Let's start with the admin stuff, okay? Team's not good right now. It's not good. There's no way around that. It's not a good team currently constructed. You probably know that. Team grade would be, if we include the draft capital, which is clearly an A+, draft capital, by the way, but if we include that into the entire team grade, D+, C-.
Yeah, I would just say D+.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all these draft picks could hit, and you could end up being a B+ pretty easily, right?
I think you have A+ draft capital. How about
let's
that?
say C. Let's say C- for this team. I think because there's just so much capital to work with. C- right now, currently constructed. As far as the pathway goes, this is very, very clearly. I wouldn't even say a 1-year punt. I'd say a full rebuild. I think if the draft goes really well in your favor, we can adjust. Like, regardless, this year we're punting towards next season, but we're also saying it's probably not even next year we're going to be in that ball house. But if we are in 2026, we can reevaluate and say, okay, a lot of these picks did better than anticipated. Can we go into sleeper mode right now, or do we need to punt one more year? So I'll say full rebuild for now and reassess next offseason. But yeah, I think this team, while it doesn't look great, it has a very clear, you know what I mean? Like a very, very clear path forward, and your direction is very clear and stable. As far as holds on this team, I think Jaden Reed's a solid hold right now. You can't get a first round for him, rightfully so, but there's just no reason to sell him. I would say Tucker Kraft is another fantastic hold, considering the breakout kind of that he had last year. I'll add Brandon Ayuk to that. These guys I don't see you trading for any value right now. Jordan Mason's pretty interesting. I would add him to that list because with the current running back market, he could have a chance somewhere. As far as drops, if you need to make space, you can drop Amari DiMercado. I mean, in a 1 quarterback league, you can drop Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell pretty easily. Those guys do not need to be rostered. If you need to clear more space, by the way, Ty Johnson's a cuttable name. Mechie's a cuttable name. Schoonmaker's cuttable. So, again, only if you need to clear space. On the waiver wire, there's nothing I really feel you should prioritize. And the only untouchables are your future draft picks.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we get to the chalkboard here?
Let's do it.
All right.
A lot of capital here.
I feel this type of team, even though it's a full rebuild, I don't feel the need to tear down from these picks. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well, Badaki, but typically we want to tear down from the 102 when we're looking at a team that's in a clear need of a rebuild and they don't have a lot of draft capital. You're not in that position. You're also in a start 8, which is the second smallest league you could possibly be in. So I don't see a need to tear down in this specific league. Do you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. Just continue to build on some of these guys. 102, 103, 106, 111 is perfect for rebuilds right here. So we would definitely be sticking and picking.
We are on the same page there. Okay, so at the 102, You know, it's going to be between two names, most likely. You know, anything can happen. I guess the draft can still pan out in a certain way, but it'll be between Hampton and McMillan. And then at the 103, you'll probably choose the other, like most likely. I mean, you know, we can't rule we can't rule out Burden, Henderson, Judkins, Johnson. If one of these guys get first round capital and it's a little bit unexpected, right? At the 106, you'll be in that Burden and Judkins and Ward and Sanders range. Not for one quarterback, though, my bad. There's no premium on the tight end in this league either. At the 111, you know, you'll be looking like Loveland, Golden.
Yeah, tight end, wide receiver,
Egbuka,
maybe. Yeah.
You know, and we could even add Egbuka as like a possible option here at the 106 as well if the draft goes a certain way. But your Goldens, your Tyler Warrens, Travis Hunters, if another running back is there. Late second round, you're probably, you know, in that Elijah Arroyo range, RJ Harvey, Neil Sampson, Smith Royals, Trey Harris, those Iowa State boys, Higgins and Knoll. And then the rest of these picks, you know, true BPA. I don't even mind using these picks to tier up, considering you're in a small league. You know, and you already have so much draft capital. Like, can we package all of these for a second? For example, can we go 303 plus the 306 plus the 407? And is there a team out there that has no draft capital, but they have a second rounder? I'd like to just quickly look at that. Like the 208. Yeah. I think you could probably keep your fourth rounder in that scenario, but I think that could make a ton of sense.
Yep.
Again, trying to use these to just get the most quality players possible, since you have such a small league and depth isn't as important. This guy has the 205. I think I would do that for the 205 for sure. Don't think that's possible, but we're not gonna not try, right? 201 is out of range. 206, of course, you know, another pick that you would comfortably do that for. 204 is probably too high. 210 is probably too low. Just want to make sure we look at all of our options here. 209 is another close one. I think same deal as the 208, but maybe you could send that fourth round instead of that third rounder, just as an example, right?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense.
Maybe you're right. You might have to send that third, but you have the flexibility to go out and tier up from those. Okay. So I don't think we're gonna get rid of any of those first round picks, though. We're gonna stick and pick for the majority of that. So like Badaki, let's say we ended up with Hampton. We come back and we grab McMillan, whatever order you want it to be, guys. I don't care what order you want it to be. Don't yell at me, please. And then we come back and we grab Travion Henderson. At the 111, you know, Matthew Golden ends up being the best pick there. At the 207, Dylan Sampson is the best pick at that point, right? And, you know, who knows exactly what happens with your third and fourth round picks, but we end up bringing Hampton, Henderson, Sampson, right, to a team that desperately needs it. That would become your top three running backs instantly to build around. You'd bring in Tet McMillan and Matthew Golden as well. That makes Ayuk more your wide receiver 3 or 2, Worthy more your 4 range, and you're starting to really build like a baseline for, okay, let's see which of these players break out, which of these guys we can build around, and then in 2026 we have already a bunch of picks and we can kind of retool there as well. I like that a lot.
I agree.
Now, I think there are some obvious sells on this team, or even tear downs. Mahomes comes to mind. Now, one quarterback, I'm not sure what's possible, but
yeah,
but I still want to try.
Okay.
We've seen Xavier Worthy go for crazy prices, so I'm gonna suggest it. Like the other day, yeah, we were on stream and we were like, we saw him go for the 105 recently. We were shocked, and then someone said, I just traded him for the 103, and we're like, what the hell is going on? Okay, so he just became one of those names where we're like, if you can sell him, we're not going to say no. George Kittle, I think in your scenario, you probably want to sell in season, but we'll talk about what you could get for him. The strengths of this class at tight end and having Kraft already, I think, makes him a sellable name. Let's start with Mahomes. Tearing down in a one quarterback league, I don't know how possible that's really going to be, but let's go to Big Cheese 51. They've got
Big Cheesy.
They've got Caleb. Okay, how about like a Ricky Pearsall, Caleb Williams? And what we can do is we can send them back I would send like the 207 to get this done. I don't know if that's paying too much.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I would do that because the way I view it, Caleb and Pat, I don't think they should be viewed that differently in Dynasty. I know that sounds crazy, but with Ben Johnson going there, with the offensive line improving, another year, Jared Goff had his best years in fantasy with Ben Johnson. Pat Mahomes, is going to be a reliable asset. He's not going to decrease, but we're trying to maximize value in a one quarterback league. I kind of view that as getting Ricky Pearsall at a real discount. I like it, but I can understand why.
He already has Brandon Ayuk. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just thinking
But we don't need to think about that in a rebuild.
Nah. I'm just thinking maybe can we go?
Sure. Look, if we can get a Dunze, I'll send Mahomes in the 107 straight up for a Dunze. Shoot, I'll add the 303 onto that. And we don't even need a quarterback back.
No, because we have Baker. That's the interesting part.
Let's look at.
Yeah, I think the pivot. I think the pivot for me is I think Patrick Mahomes and Caleb are just really close in the community's rankings. That I think I would rather go a little bit lower, I guess you go.
Yeah. So
right.
So let's just say hypothetically though, if this deal was on the table, you would take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
All right, let's try and go the JJ McCarthy route. Might be harder now.
Michael Penix maybe. JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix. I think of.
So McCarthy, the reason I say it's because Team 10 has him, and they could use an upgrade. I think. This is a tougher one because of the assets on this team.
I lost. You said Team 10 has him?
Judy McFly.
Oh, great.
When you sort by quarterbacks, they're the 10th team.
Oh, okay.
I would do it if they added Tyrone Tracy. I don't think this is a good fit, actually. Let's look at another team. Let's say Michael Penix. That guy already has Bo Nix, so he's probably not going to be interested. Herbert and Stroud. I don't think he's going to be that interested. Josh Allen, Drake May, Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow. Okay, yeah, that's probably your main options with Mahomes.
That's probably the best.
It's really hard to tear down.
And a one quarterback for sure.
Now, Worthy, I can already hear the comments. There's no way you can get the 103 for Xavier Worthy. We just saw it happen in multiple leagues. If you get anywhere from the 103 to the 107, then it's an instant sell.
No question.
Okay. Let's just say the 106 instant sell. As far as George Kittle, I'll say any first in any year. But you'll probably have to wait until in season, right? And target like a contender that doesn't have good tight end. So for example, Nicky Madones has K Dotton, and they've got a great team. Will they give us our first in 26 or 27? Tommy and how about Dim, Cowgirls, Njoku, and Komet, for example. Like, can you go get the 110 for Kittle? Could you get the 202 and the 203 for Kittle? I think those both would make a ton of sense. If you're able to do them, then we'd happily do it. I'll send back the 306 if they want, but most likely you're going to have to wait until in season. And then you get off Kittle, you get off Mahomes, and, Worthy if the value's there, and you build around this young core, this young nucleus. So I like this direction. You got anything I didn't mention? Or
No, this is a great pathway. I think when it comes down to teams like this that has draft capital, it's straightforward.
Yeah.
Best capital, sell some of these guys at their peak. Specifically the George Kittles, Patrick Mahomes, and anyone else that we brought here today. I think that's about it on my side. I don't think I have any other suggestions. I'm just going through the team one more time. But no, man, this is a very interesting team when it comes down to it.
I like it.
I do like it, but we appreciate you, man. Obviously, you're probably not here with us, but let us know if you have any other questions later on. You will be receiving your customized playbook within the Flock Fantasy message system in 72 hours. Been trying to get these guys out, same day or within really 48 hours for you guys. But we appreciate you, man. Great team. Great team for the future, for sure.
Very exciting team. It's fun to do these kind of rebuilds with a bunch of capital. So we appreciate you, man. All right, Boot is in the books. We appreciate you, my friend. Again, your team playbook, like Badaki said, will be customized with everything we talked about today and sent to you within 72 hours. If you guys are out there and you want your team playbook, you want a live review alongside of it, then you can check out the pinned comment. All right, flockfantasy.com/land. Become an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. You'll get a voucher, and then you can go through the checkout store. And if you want an offline playbook, it becomes free, right, with that voucher. Or the live one becomes $7 after that point. And it's just so we can prioritize you in the queue. But you get the other benefits of being a member, right? You get to join our Discord, our rookie report, rankings, databases, premium draft guides, and everything on the website. All right, Cucumber is next. They originally had an offline review, and they sent in the super chat to make sure it was live. So they have done everything on their end. They are going to get the live version because they upgraded. And they said this is an IDP league, so we'll keep that in mind. Now, the best help we can give is on the offensive side because IDP leagues are just so many different settings and details. So we'll give our best information here on the redraft side. Now, did they send any messages? He says pending trade with Sam Darnold for the 206, depending on where he goes in free agency. So that was one of the deals that he had kind of in the works on the back end, and we can definitely consider that as we go. But why don't you go ahead and read out his team? He's currently ranked 1st out of 10, and it is a 10-team Superflex League start 10. Which is 10, the middle ground starting lineup there.
Middle ground starting lineup here. Basically, that is a 3-flex start. And I'll read this team out here.
And who knows what the IDP looks like? We're assuming that's just the offensive side for the starts, right? So
100%. At the quarterback position, keep in mind this is Superflex. Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young with Sam Darnold. So it looks like you got that Sam. Was trading for Sam Darnold, or was he going to trade away Sam Darnold?
I assume he was going to trade him away. I think you can get more than the 206. I think you can probably get more early second. Of course, he has all the early seconds, but we can talk about.
Yeah. This is a phenomenal quarterback room, specifically in Superflex. At the running back position, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, Brian Robinson. Also a good running back room with Gibbs and Kyron. Having Zach Charbonnet there, Javonte Williams with the Cowboys, even though we do believe they're going to draft another running back, but that is somebody that can step up as a vet for you. At the wide receiver position, you can start it to 5 wide receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, Keon Coleman, Darnell Mooney, which are honestly is a pretty decent wide receiver room. It's just
there's no top 5 name, but like it's good. It's got a lot of depth.
100% with Brock Bowers. So this is a great team here.
Yeah,
you don't have any first round picks in 2025 or in 2026, so you're definitely trying to go all in. Here.
100% all in. I mean, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. The pathway is Windows open. I mean, it's a young Windows open, right? It's not an older team. We need to actually update that graphic. I'm sending you a message right now because I keep forgetting to follow up on it. But like, Windows open graphic.
We need to change the Windows open graphic, and then we need to like delete formats. I think we can do like a cool like middle ground, a cool like meat and potatoes graphic or something.
Yeah, cool. I like it. So when you're watching this, yes, you are a Windows open, but you're not an older team. It's just take advantage because you have no benefit to being bad, right? Because you don't have your future first round pick. Kansas Gainwell to the Steelers. I'm sure that's going to be like a $2 million deal. By the way, Sauce said moved Sam Darnold for Devonta Smith earlier, which was a steal, but I feel like you can definitely get more than 206. I agree in a super flex league.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But it's important to remember this is an IDP league as well. And while we don't know the exact settings, that could push a lot of these offensive guys down the board too. Now, we'll really be able to focus in on the offensive side of the ball for you. Of course, we don't show IDP on the site, so we'll do our absolute best and help you. But this team's definitely in a position to win. You know, Kelsey on his last legs, A.J. Brown getting up there, Kyron, the Hurts, Daniels combo, Chris Godwin. You know, you're definitely in a position where you want to try and win right now with no future first-round picks. So definitely a windows open team, even though it's a younger core nucleus, if you will. Draft capital grade, I mean, you don't have any first, so we'll have to be a little harsh here. I would say C flat, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Overall team grade, though, I mean, you're starting right now Daniels, Hurts, Gibbs, Kyron, Jason, AJ, Brock Bowers, and then we'll start 3 more in Waddle, Reed, and Godwin. That's a solid lineup right there. Now, the depth is a little questionable. Maybe we can work around that. But I would lean B plus, A minus range.
I would say B plus. Let's say B plus.
It's like one Justin Jefferson away from an A.
Yeah, genuinely.
But or like a Josh Jacobs away from an A as your RB3 or something. You know, it's like very, very, very close. And again, I'm going to go ahead and assume that these picks are a little bit more valuable for offensive players if we wanted to move them, considering it is an IDP league. So, like, at the 202, like, Ibuka is probably going to be there. Caleb Johnson could be there, or Sanders, or...
Because you think of Abdul Carter going, Travis Hunter going,
and
you think of these guys going higher in
Judkins
IDP.
Maybe, you know, so yeah, as far as untouchables on this team, you got quite a few. Daniels, Gibbs, Bowers would be your 3. I don't care which one you highlight on the graphic, but let's just say Daniels and Bowers. Well, it's a non-title premium. Let's say Daniels and Gibbs. As far as your holds, with a team like this needing a little bit of depth, I think Reed is a really solid hold. Isaiah Likely is a solid hold as well. With your running back depth, I think you can make an argument that you should probably hold Charbonnet and Jalen Wright. I'm not going to say Javonte Williams. I do think he's a sell. I'll talk about that in a future video. But those are all real solid holds right now. As far as drops, I don't really got many drops here, man. I mean, Jalen Tolbert, if you need to make space. I mean, this waiver wire is full of I mean, Cedric Tillman's rostered in almost every league I've seen. Mike Gesicki, you should definitely roster, right?
There. So let's add 2 ads. I feel like those are more important. So instead of adding drops, we can put waiver wire pickups.
Yeah, and let's say you trade away Darnold or something, and you clear up some space. But yeah, I think Tillman and Mike Gesicki are 2 important pickups there. All right, we've done all the admin, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get to the chalkboard here. He has an offer currently for the 206 for Sam Darnold. That's not enough, but let's have a look at who has the 206. And, you know, again, we have to think about it from the perspective of, well, it goes both ways. Like, the 206 is maybe more valuable in this league than in a normal league. So we will keep that in mind. But that is one shot Bumba Clot.
Whoa. Family friendly, brother.
I mean, that tell one shot Bumba Clot that. I think I'd rather target a running back here like Josh Jacobs. I would rather find a way to turn Sammy D into Josh Jacobs here and give your little window you have right now a little bit more runway with Gibbs, Kyron, and then adding Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is like the most affordable of the guys who were top 10 last year. Super affordable in all of the deals we've seen. So if you can send away, let's say, Sam Darnold and Brian Robinson would be easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is phenomenal. Sorry, I just went ahead and looked at the Josh Jacobs owner, and 206 is crazy. Anyway,
and, you know, if Brian Robinson doesn't get the deal done, understandable. I don't want him either. Would Zach Charbonnet get the deal done? I mean, right now Zach Charbonnet is like running back 25 or something on KTC. It's ridiculous. But if that doesn't get the deal done, can we add the 210? Can we send you back and can we get back like the 306, for example? You know, I definitely think there's a deal done as long as they're willing to kind of play ball a little bit. I mean, I'd be willing to like look at an Ayuk ad here as well. For example, I'm thinking Jacobs and Ayuk, and what we would do is we would send them Darnold, the 202, like that range.
Right. Okay.
Again, assuming that this is more valued as like a late first in this league. So those are a couple ideas I think you can consider. I don't like the 206 offer though.
No, I don't like the 206 offer.
But we can look at other teams that are quarterback needy because Sam Darnold is expendable on this roster.
No question. I mean,
So let's have a look down. It's a 10-teamer, so keep that in mind.
it is a 10 team.
How about Hernandez is
My
secret?
Johnson. Gosh.
We can try and nab a DJ Moore from a team like that.
Yeah, I like that.
And
That actually might be an even trade. I think Sam Darnold straight up for DJ. I could be wrong.
I think you'll have to pay a little bit more if we go like the KTC as a weapon route here. Yeah, so like if we send Brian Robinson, does that get the job done? Yeah, that would more than get the job done. I mean, I'd be comfortable to pay any of these prices.
Yeah, I agree. I'd
but
be comfortable to pay the price for DJ Moore.
if you can get some plus back, like, you know, if you're telling me you can get a future third or something, then, you know, we're fine to go there as well. But I really like that idea. If you wanted to send a wide receiver instead, you could send. Would you send Mooney? I feel like Mooney would be nice to have for this team.
Yeah, I would rather keep. I think there's no one at the wide receiver position I would want to send.
Yeah,
because of how
I'm fine.
crucial his lineup is.
I hear
Because
you there.
if he gets Josh Jacobs, he can start carving in the flex and then rotate Jackson, AJ Brown.
Yeah. All right, this guy has Burrow and Geno Smith. He also has James Cook and CMC. I'm thinking James Cook.
Yeah.
And I think we do the same deal as we did for Josh Jacobs there.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So
It's a good deal,
that works
actually.
a lot, yeah. I don't think you have another option. So those are kind of your main teams if you're trying to move on from Darnold, which is definitely expendable. Here's what I'll say with Javonte Williams. Just based off what I'm seeing right now. Okay, if you can get like a mid-second, we're saying like the 204 to the 208, I would say cash in. I don't think the Cowboys are done adding to their running back room. And I do think they'll address it in the draft. If I'm wrong, fair enough.
I agree.
But even if I'm not wrong, there's a good chance you'll never get a mid-second for Javonte again. Anyway, he's on a one-year deal. Brian Robinson.
Even if they don't draft him, after running back, I don't think you're going to get more than that.
I actually 100% agree with you. We're on the same page. I would say the same thing for Brian Robinson, honestly. Maybe you can get a little higher because he's like the perceived starter right now. But I'd be willing to sell both of those guys. And I know it limits your depth a little bit, but I think you can replenish that with draft capital. Don't want to sell anyone else, really. I mean, you could sell Kelsey, but you can't even get a second for him anymore. You might as well hold. Now, with the draft capital, if we... maybe we can look at, like, trading for a veteran. But maybe Chuba Hubbard's a perfect idea.
That's what I'm saying. You could do Chuba.
Now, keep in mind, this is more like a late first because it's IDP, so you might be able to get a plus on top of this. I know you guys out there in non-IDP leagues, you know, this might seem crazy, but IDP is going to push the value of that pick up. So could we do like Chuba and like Debo?
Yeah.
You know, and if that's not possible, then can we send the 202 and the 310 or something? You know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's far off, personally. He'd be the perfect third on your team as well.
He would, and then you can then pivot to a wide receiver. So that, I would say if you can get Chuba for the 202 in a deal like that, or any other running back for the 202, then I would pivot to the Sam Darnold and try and get like I would really focus on the DJ Moore of like world.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely on board with you there. I kind of like this combo a lot. The selling Darnold Charbonnet for more in a future first, as well as selling the 202 and the 310 for Debo and Chuba. I think that's actually a really good combo. Yeah, I like it a lot. Look, if you stick and pick, I'm going to assume this is the late first range, so you'll be somewhere, you know, maybe you could add a Caleb Johnson or an Igbuka or something. I think that would probably be like your best case scenario, unless there's a defensive player that fills a hole for you, and you're like, I think this is where I need to go. You know, let's assume
try an IDP for sure, because I'll be getting excited for some of these defensive players.
Yeah, right.
Around the draft time, it's like, oh, this is so cool. I'm glad he went there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I'll see you on the field.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that's kind of, if you stick and pick with them. I mean, with you being a Windows open team, I wouldn't mind going out and just getting some proven production on the squad instead. Come on, I mean, Chuba's really like the main name I'm kind of focused on at that point. How do I move the picks away from here? Okay.
You could do Chuba. You could do James Cook and then send the player, but I feel like that name just carries a lot more weight.
Yeah, maybe the 202 for Cook. You send the 310 back.
Unless you can go a different route and do like the Tyrone Tracy and then get something in return.
Tyrone maybe
that's
210 because it's IDP. You know.
Yeah.
Another option there. But yeah, there's just not many running backs we really feel comfortable investing in right now. Even Aaron Jones, like, they've already said they want to split work with him. So I still feel like it's a risk.
I just don't know who they're going to split. I just think it depends on the who is the backup there right now.
Well, I think they're going to address that in the draft.
Yeah.
They've been very vocal this offseason to say that they want to split backfield regardless of if Aaron Jones is back or not. So
apparently Cam Akers is still there.
Yeah,
they may not even draft a running back.
I think they will. I 100% believe the opposite.
I think if they're going to draft somebody, it's not going to be in the first 3 rounds. That's how I'm feeling right now. If this is true, if Cam Akers stays and Aaron Jones gets this contract extension, I don't think they're going to draft one in the first 3. It'll be a 4th round, 5th round running back.
Maybe. I mean, I still think they view Cam Akers as like a suitable number 2.
Yeah, I would
all right,
understand.
We love the DJ Moore Chuba Hubbard deal. I love the idea of cashing out on Javonte Williams right now, and you know, I like the Jacobs deal as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think let's go win this thing.
Yeah, man, this is a really good team. Fly Eagles, fly. And we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the support.
I'll let you off even though you're an Eagles fan. All right. You're still welcome here.
No, we appreciate you. You should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy message system with all the customized information that we drew up here for you today. But thank you so much for the support, man. This is a really good team. You're just a piece. Honestly, you don't have to do anything. You have the pieces to contend, but just to give you that extra oomph.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's great.
Yeah, and under no circumstance do you sell Daniels, Gibbs, or Bowers, by the way, just to make that clear. Cool. So you'll get your team playbook within 72 hours. If you guys are out there and you're watching the stream and you're like, all right, what does that mean? Well, the team playbook is a customized game plan for your offseason. Customized trade targets, what to do with your draft capital. You can get one by becoming a Land Annual Mother Flocker member. You get a voucher. Now, if you're on a different promo code, you can still go to the Flock store and buy a team review a la carte. Just make sure you get that live tier, which is $10 more, to make sure that your review is done live. Okay. If you prefer it offline, then you can do offline if that's, if that floats your boat, whatever works for you. The link is in the pinned comment. I'll also paste it in the chat now. Again, become an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. Not only do you get the team playbook offline or live if you want to do that small little $7 upgrade or whatever it is, but you also get our 2025 rookie report. Right, you get a free trade question voucher, our complete rankings on the site, all the premium tools and databases on the website, and draft guides and articles. And of course, you're supporting us. You get our Discord unlocked as well. So that is the best bang for your buck. Just so you know, when you become an annual member, you get a voucher, and you just got to go through the same process. You go to the Flock store, and then when you purchase a team review from us, you have a voucher that takes $79 off, which is the price of the offline one anyway. And if you wanted to make it live, you just have to pay $7, right? So, and that's just because of a demand thing to make sure we can prioritize your review on a live stream. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that answers your question there, Moist Gonorrhea. Hopefully that answers your question.
That is a phenomenal name.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even like the word moist.
Yeah, I've noticed that actually. Like, there's a girl I knew growing up, and she was like, please don't ever say moist towelette around me, please. And I'm like, why? She's like, it makes me cringe.
A moist towelette, specifically towelette.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
yeah. What a name.
Feel free to ever DM us on Discord or Twitter or anything if you have any questions about the sign up process. But all right, Joel's next. Shout out to Joel.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you're here. Joel, are you here?
Let me DM him.
We should send him a message, yeah, because he's normally a great supporter of the show there. He should be.
He'll be here soon.
Joey Bosa reached an agreement tonight on a 1-year deal, $12 million with the Buffalo Bills.
Joey Bosa with the Bills?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind that. 1-year deal, 12. How old is Joey? He's not that old, right?
What
is he, like 27, 28?
I don't know. I can't
29.
remember. I thought he was I thought he was locked into San Francisco.
They must have not, and they must.
I thought he and his
San
brother
Fran
were
just signed somebody?
destined to play together. No, they just lost an edge rusher.
Yeah, but didn't they lose somebody and then sign somebody?
I don't know.
Or am I tripping about that?
I don't know. It's a good question.
He probably wanted to go to a contender. He knew the 49ers are going to be shit after everyone they lost.
I still think they'll be good. People aren't ready for the CMC redemption tour, in my opinion. But let's
we'll see.
Let's get to Joel's team, yeah.
Yeah. Let us know if you're here. Joel, obviously, you've been a great
says
supporter.
He's watching it right now with his girlfriend. Shout out to Joel's girlfriend. What an honor. I actually would love to hear from her. What does it feel like being the girlfriend of Joelverse? I mean, this man, he just gives and he gives. You know, he's a giver.
Gives and he gives. Do you know he spent a lot of money on us? That's
I was more saying to the community, but you made it financially.
Yeah, financial. Check his finances. See how much it goes to Fantasyland. No, I'm joking.
You can trust him.
Keep giving us. Keep giving us. Anyways, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Just got him in a follower league, by the way, which was awesome. He took over an orphan. Anyway, Joel's here. All right.
Let's have a look at this.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of
before you ruin it and have his girlfriend say, actually, those guys suck. You should not hang out with them anymore. Go ahead. It's a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 10, by the way.
Yeah, this is rolling deep.
Makes it a big old lineup there for a 1 quarterback league.
Last season, with your review insight, I was the #1 seed. In scoring, unfortunately came up short in the semis. There's no trade deadline in our league, and my opponent sold his soul to make the finals. Glad that bum lost.
I love that.
He running back depth. Strong everywhere except draft capital. Much love.
Okay,
thanks.
There is actually like a real part of the Dynasty community that believes you have to have the trade, no trade deadline. Like they believe it's super beneficial for Dynasty leagues. And like, I totally hear where those people are coming from. I can see the benefits of having no Dynasty deadline, like trade deadline. My opinion on the matter is that if you haven't prepared yourself enough as a contender and you're in week 17 in the championship game and you can just go out and just trade for someone you know is about to dominate, I think that's bullshit, personally. That's just my take on it. I think it's absolute bullshit. If you haven't prepared yourself well enough, it's just, I don't know. I get how it helps people who are trying to rebuild. I totally understand that. But I think if your team isn't built strong enough, and you didn't have the 49 weeks out of the year that you could have prepared, I just think I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. That's my opinion on it. It just gives you an out for poor preparation. And then it screws over the other guy that you're playing against, unless you now need to overpay and use your assets in a terrible way. Anyway, so, all right. That's my opinion on it. Okay, so last season, he was the number 1 seed, which is great, but, came up short in the semis and need running back depth, strong everywhere else. Okay, his name is, I'm just a chill Eagles fan. So we'll let him off the hook there. Go ahead. What's his team looking like?
Two Eagles fans back to back. It's not what you want to see, huh? Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, Anthony Richardson. Great quarterback room in a 1-quarterback league. At the running back position, Monty, Derrick Henry, and the list goes on. So a little bit short on depth at the running back position. At the wide receiver position, keep in mind you can start up to 6 wide receivers: Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Waddle, J-Mo with Ricky Pierce. So technically are your starting 6 with Tank Dell, Darnell Mooney, Parker Washington in the wings there with TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle. So you probably were rotating both of those guys when TJ came back here. And you don't have any picks in Joel, 2026. You do have the 103, which is not terrible for an older team that needs a running back depth here.
Yeah, but you desperately need a running back. Desperately. You cannot rock into this season without an RB3 here. Rico Dowdle helped you out last year. I would not rely on him this year. There's a tight end premium. Let's think about the starting lineup right now, Badaki. It's probably Herbert, Monty, Henry, Chase, Wilson, Hawkinson, and then he needs to start 4 more, which could be Addison, Waddle, Jameson, Pearsall. You can throw in Kittle, Mooney, right? So that 103, I really think we need to go out there and get RB2 in this class. Hopefully the guy in your league decides to go Tet McMillan. Let's say Tet goes in the first round as well as Hampton. Hopefully you can still end up with Amarian Hampton in that scenario.
Amarian.
I don't hate the idea of using Kittle as a trade to kind of get a little more. Like, we have no picks in 2026. If Derrick Henry, if he falls apart this year, and Monty doesn't get the same workload with no Ben Johnson, I mean, that would be tough. I wouldn't mind using both the 103 and Kittle to improve the running back room. But overall team grade, it's a good team for sure. I'm going to have to dock you a little bit for the draft capital. I would say B minus. B flat feels right to me.
Okay.
By the way, I see Ball Bory's super chat. Let's answer that real quick before we keep going. This is just a startup being offered the 104 for Monty, the 209 and a 403.
Nah, the 104 is worth way more than what you're getting.
Yeah, that's not even close to value for the 104. In fact, whoever is sending you that offer is trying to screw you over. I imagine it's maybe your first Dynasty League and you're doing it with friends, and the person that is sending you that offer is probably well versed in Dynasty, and that is a terrible offer. And I started to ask myself, is that a startup offer or is that a picks this year in the rookie draft? Either way, it's a terrible offer. It's truly one of the worst offers we've seen in the last couple weeks on this channel. So do not accept that. The 104 is by far more valuable than all the other pieces in that deal.
Completely agree.
Okay, so I said B flat team grade. Like, draft capital, I gotta be harsh here. It's you have at least one first, but D plus.
Okay.
As far as the untouchables on this team, that would be Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I really don't think there's another one. As far as the holds on this team, Ricky, for sure. I want to hold him. Ricky! I always think Ricky Bobby there. Okay, Ricky. Well, I think Mooney is worth holding because you want to go out there and compete right now. I'm going to put A.J. Barner on notice as well. And I would say probably Jalen Waddle. These are all real solid holds for your team. If you need to drop and clear space, how much time have you got? We can drop Rondell. We can drop Slayton. I think we can. We can drop Mechie. We can drop Miles Sanders. We can drop Tucker if you need room. Brevin Jordan is the easiest drop of all these names, I think. We can drop Joe Milton in a one quarterback league. I mean, you can wait and see if he gets traded, but those are all easy drops. On your waiver wire, yeah, when Dalvin Cook is your best waiver wire running back, we're not going to suggest to pick up anyone. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So yeah, definitely in a position where you compete. Right. I mean, this is definitely a windows open when we're looking at a pathway. Right. No capital in the future. Your team doesn't benefit at all from losing or not making the playoffs. So you're definitely you're definitely a contender there. Yeah, 9 ball. I would still strongly say here the 104 is by far more valuable than any of the pieces that you're getting there. It's not even close. Yeah. Whoever sent you that deal is trying to rip you off. I hope you know that. I don't care if they're your best friend. They are trying to rip you off. 100%.
It was him getting the 104.
Oh, then grab the 104. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just,
grab the 104. I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grab that 104. I'm a little bit slow up here sometimes, but we get there. Between the two of us. Okay. All right. Have we not done anything admin that we needed to do?
No, that was everything.
Okay, cool. So let's head to the chalkboard. Lots to talk about here with your draft picks. Yes, that was sarcasm. Look, if you stick and pick, I think you're really gonna want Hampton, but McMillan is the other option. Here's the deal, though: if you do go McMillan and you can't sell the 103, you can still look at selling like McMillan after the draft for a wide receiver, or Garrett Wilson after the draft for a running back. Sorry, for a running back. You know, you still have flexibility. But ideally in your scenario, assuming Hampton goes first or early second round, he's probably the ideal target for your team. And then, I mean, I think we could tear down in his situation, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking that 105 to 107-ish. Just really depending on, I don't want to tier too far back to not get a running back.
Right. Let's
let's
try those 3 picks then.
Yeah.
Let's try those 3 picks. We'll start with the 104. And let's see who has that 104. In fact, we'll just go down and see who has all these picks, and we'll go in that order. The 104 is Classic Al. I wonder if we can snag Bucky. And what we'll do is we'll ask for Bucky Irving, and we'll send them back. Who do we have? Garrett Wilson? Oh. Do you think we could do like Kittle Addison here? Does he need a tight end? It's a tight end premium.
Andrews.
Do you think we could do like Addison Kittle? I almost guarantee if you put that on KTC, it would get you there, but I just want to look real fast.
I would imagine that KTC would say that we're giving way too much.
We're overpaying.
That's what I think it would say. But I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, you could be right here. Yeah, they say we're overpaying. Well, if you can do Addison Bucky, I mean that's actually crazy. Okay, well if that's possible, then fantastic. Let's go that route. I don't think I would entertain that deal. But if you have to add Kittle, can you ask back for the, what do you think, 208?
Yeah.
208 probably gets you there.
It'll have to be that, or like a high upside.
Or like a Keon.
Would you rather take a shot on 208 or Keon? Yeah, I was gonna say Keon personally.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Josh Palmer's not there, so you kind of fucked that joke. So.
I don't even know if it's a joke or not. Genuinely, I don't know. No, I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm kidding. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, let's keep looking. 105 is the next team, actually, which is perfect. Okay, like 105, 110 would be awesome.
Yeah, 105, 110.
And then we probably need to give something back, right? So we probably need to give back, like, look, I know we wanted, he could use a receiver. I know we wanted to keep all of ours, but I think we could part with, like, a Mooney here.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't part with Pearsall, but I would even be willing to do like Mooney and Dell. You know, if Dell is the reason this deal goes through, I'm not going to hold on to him and hope that he.
I agree.
Fucking Iron Man's his knee into being usable again. Okay, 106 was the only other one, right? And that is Big Sexy 50. What's up, baby?
Oh, Big Sexy, baby.
I mean, 106, Olave. I don't think that gets done. CMC feels like it probably would.
But you don't think the 106 and Chris Olave for the 103 will get it done?
I don't think you can pay that little for Olave.
Let me see what KTC says. So Olave, and then the 106.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it says we need to add something.
And I think like you're not even at the 102. I really think this is truly the same range. So I mean, look, if you can add Mooney or whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, let me see what that says.
I'm not sure.
This
doesn't really accomplish a goal for us though.
No, it doesn't.
So I
mean,
really
we
like
tier
that.
up at the wide receiver position if we think of Olave, but like we do tier back
Yeah.
at the running back, and then we're not going to get a high tier guy.
Yeah. I think CMC makes sense for this team considering we really want to maximize the window. But I think those are really the main options to tier down. In fact, I really got obsessed with the Bucky Irving deals that we made, but I also love that 105, 110. These deals in particular, I get pretty excited about.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well.
Well, I mean, if KTC says this one's possible, you can start there, but you can try any of those iterations or whatever that we've made. As far as sells on this team,
I mean,
Kittle is the only name I think, and it's a tight end premium, so you could probably sell him now if you get the right value. Let's look for a tight end needy team that is competing. And IPI Chew comes to mind. They have the 201 and the 202. This could be perfect. Can you get the 201 and the 202? It is a tight end premium. Right? So 201, 202, and then we send back... is Mooney like the piece we're using to get these deals done every time? Yeah, Mooney or Dell or Darnold.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this. Mooney or Dell or Darnold. If any of those get the deal done.
Joe said the number one ranked team is looking for a wide receiver. He inquired about the 103 too, and he has running backs. What do you think about the trade with that squad?
Number one ranked team. I just want to quickly make sure I look at all these tight end options just quickly. So this guy has the 110. It's a tight end premium. I mean, if that works, that gives you a lot more flexibility too. I don't even hate the idea of like grabbing a Jonathan Taylor here if we send him Kittle Mooney again.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure we cover all of our bases here. Kelsey. Could you get like a Kyron straight up, you know, in a tight end premium? Do you need to send like Tank Dell level player? Yeah. Okay, so let's go and discuss this other one. He said Team 1 has inquired about the 103. Is that right? He has the 108 and the 109. Ooh, but Aki, what if we did like Chuba 108, 109? We'd have to give something else back, but there's definitely a deal there.
Mooney.
Right. Okay, so Hubbard 108. That gives you a lot of flexibility with the team that you need a little bit more depth at. I mean, I probably would also do this deal for the 111. You said Mooney. That probably is the piece. It just seems like that middle ground piece.
It could be a tight end, actually. It could be Kittle, and then we can get... Is that enough? 103 and Kittle?
I think we would need more if we sent this Kittle in the 103. I would probably ask for... I'd probably try and go hard if we added Kittle and try and land Marvin. I'd probably add like Waddle. Yeah. Like what if we added Waddle to this? And we went Chuba, 108, and Marvin? What would KTC, I'm just curious, what would they say about that? 103 Kittle.
That would say we need to add Darnell Mooney. Basically. It's basically fair, to be completely honest.
For Marvin, Chuba, and the 108, right?
Yeah.
So that's about as fair as I could get.
Is Chuba the 109 enough straight up for the 103? No.
Not based off what we've seen in his market. Yeah, not based off what we've seen in his market. I think, yeah, no. You really need to grab more than that.
Yeah, and it's in the tight end premium.
Again, like, I have no problem if this is the 111 instead. You know, the 10, or even if it's the 10. Yeah, I don't want to go that far. Yeah. But no, I think probably that wouldn't be enough to close a deal. And this guy could use like some depth, so giving him Kittle Waddle might intrigue him. I mean, does he want us to add, like, what if we actually added on like a Jameson Williams? As much as I love him, like, what if we added on a Jay Williams here, and then we also asked back for the, you know, oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my computer I thought was about to freak out. Can we grab the 111 back or something? You know, you can make this deal as big as you want. I mean, you can do a true blockbuster with this type of format. But yeah. So yeah, it definitely gets you quite close there in the tight end premium. You know, that guy's clearly competing. It's a tight end premium. We just saw yesterday Kittle went as like the tight end 4 off the board or whatever. People are very high on Kittle right now post Deebo Samuel trade. 103 gives you a lot more power than the 108. Chuba Hubbard is being traded for chips. We're seeing deals like this happen everywhere. Might not happen in your league, but it's definitely worth exploring. But yeah, there's no way I'm going to send the 103 for Chuba and the 109. That's just not enough. He says, what if I wanted to trade the 103 straight up for a running back? You could. I'm not a huge fan of this range. It'd be like Saquon. It would be
I feel like it was the Saquon Brees, Achan.
I wouldn't do Brees anymore after the Field signing. I think his receiving upside is going to be very limited. I haven't updated that on my rankings, but just a little insight there. I do think the receiving upside of a Brees Hall is going to be significantly tempered.
the next 2 years,
Yeah.
unless the Jets have like the first pick next year or something.
This is a decent idea here, actually. The 103 for Marvin Chuba. 103 plus Kittle for Marv and Chuba. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But yeah, I think if you go straight up, it's probably Saquon or Achane. The Saquon owner is probably not willing to sell him for that straight up. The Achane owner probably is willing. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, KTC might say that, but it's still not something that we'd be willing to do. If you guys are willing to do that, then, you know, there's no problem with doing it. But I don't think that properly reflects.
Yeah, let's see what.
Like, guys, if Hampton actually is a first-round pick, would you really be willing to send a first-round Amarion Hampton away for Chuba Hubbard and Colson Loveland and a non-tight end premium? You know, I personally couldn't do that. But that's why KTC is this weapon that you want to use when it is convenient, and when it's not, you don't really think it values these picks properly. But yeah, if you're going to trade the 103 straight up for a running back, it's going to be one of those names, Saquon or HN. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions. You don't need to sell the 103, by the way, for this Chuba deal, if you're not going to get proper value in return. And yeah, I definitely think the Kittle side is possible. So yeah, Joel says, what if I did the 106 in a future first for the 103? Absolutely. That's our ideal trade every time we talk about that. Yeah, you know, I'll say that I would do that for any pick in the top 6, right? So yeah, 100%. If that's possible and that's on the table right now, I would definitely trigger that and just grab the best available running back at the 106 and have that future first to kind of bank on. I love that pick. We talked about the my favorite one is the Addison Bucky deal. We talked about Mooney 103 for the 105 and 110. No, we just talked about the Kittle deal as well. I like that for Marvin Chuba. But
yeah, those are all good.
Those are our favorite picks there. Joel, let us know if you have any questions, anything we didn't answer well enough, my friend. This is your time to shine. But
thank you so much.
I like the team. You just need a little bit more of a runway here.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit more, and you can definitely get that with some of the moves that we drew up here today, which you'll be receiving within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy website there.
Yes.
So the customized information we drew up here for you today. But of course, you have a way to message us, so let us know if you have any other questions later on, if need be. But thank you so much for the support.
Of course. And yeah, just tell your girlfriend that, you know, you have fun here. It's a break, you know. I'm sure she'll understand.
Yeah. And any of my current wide receivers, guys, you want to lateral off, I don't think there's anyone that you can lateral off to. Personally, I think
Garrett's tough. I think he's more of a hold now, because the perceived opinion in the community is that he's lost a bunch of value with Justin being there, but they have previous chemistry, and I think we could see a DJ Moore, Justin Fields type of hyper target. Addison, you might be able to sell him for like the 109 and re-roll with Igbuka. Waddle is undervalued right now. Pearsall I want to hold. Mooney is probably worth holding for you. Tank Dell would be the only name. Like, if you can sell him for any late second, I would do that. Right, like the 208 to the 212 range. I would definitely say that. So,
yep.
Yeah. Outside of that, you kind of need the depth. It's a bigger starting lineup, right? And you don't have picks in the future, right? This is a rolling deep start 10.
Yeah.
It says last roster Q. What would it take for you to sell Ricky Pearsall? It's a great question. Let me ask you this. If you put Ricky Pearsall in this draft and he was a first-round pick, late first-round pick to the Niners, what would you need to sell him? Because right now what I'm seeing his market is like the 201, the 202. And after they moved on from Ayuk or Debo, I kind of lean towards I need a late first or I'm just going to hold him.
I think with the way that they're rebuilding their team here, they got rid of a lot of their older pieces on the defensive side. This is a good, if I'm not mistaken, pass rushing class. Not saying they're going to go out and just get pass rusher with the first 3 picks. But, 49ers have, if I'm not mistaken, a middle of a pack type pick in the first round currently.
Yeah, I didn't say 11. That to like suggest that they would go wide receiver. I more just meant that, don't forget they drafted him in the first round last year. And, he began the year by being shot. And, he's shown incredible strides. So I more just meant like, at the 202, you might get Matthew Golden, but we don't know if he's going to be a locked and loaded first round pick anyway. You already have a guaranteed first round pick on the roster, so. Yeah,
I personally would be keeping him because my thought is that they're not going to take a wide receiver in the first round. I could be wrong, unless Tech falls to them.
No.
And then in the second round, they could get a wide receiver, but that already negates. Like, okay, well, is it a second round like a Jalen Royals, or does it make Mbuka fall in the second round?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I would be really shocked if they spent a first 4-round pick on a receiver. I think they're just ready for like Ricky, Ayuk, Jawan,
100%
Kittle
to be the guy, to be those
guys,
people. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. So like Badaki always says, your team playbook will be customized and sent to you within 72 hours. Appreciate you big time, my friend. Thanks for all the love. He says, thanks for the insight, fellas. Girlfriend is a fan. Love you, fam. Y'all the best Dynasty creators on the planet.
Love.
Shout out to Miss Joelverse's girlfriend. Shout out to you. We salute you. All right, awesome. Appreciate you, man. Again, if you guys are out there and you're watching the show, like, okay, you talked about the playbook, you send it after the live review, and how do I get the live review itself? Well, look at the pinned comment in the chat, but essentially what you're gonna want to do is become an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND, flockfantasy.com/land. All right, then you get a voucher for one of these playbooks. And DM us if you have any questions, all right? Like goal on today's stream was 50. Where are we at right now? We are at 41, which is very close. Appreciate you guys. Let's keep chugging through here. Tiv Madness. Let me double check. I think this one might be offline.
Yeah, I think it is offline. I think the next one is Papa Dunk.
Yes, which Papa Dunk upgraded to a live one, which with his super chat here. He went to Jared is his team name. He upgraded to live. So he
went to Jared. Well, let's go. Come on. He followed me back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Let us know if you are here. Papa Dunk, man. Thank you so much.
That's true. The Niners did just sign DeMarcus Robinson as well. Okay, cool. Papa Dunk.
That is true.
2 quarterback, 12 team start 10 with a tight end premium. So that's a middle ground starting lineup. Middle of the pack type of lineup. Not too thin, not too focused on the top. You still need some depth, but it's the middle ground. That's why we call it the middle ground. Okay, go ahead and read the context here.
He said, took this team as an orphan because I wanted a rebuild. It's becoming very difficult to trade away vet running backs due to this year's draft class, so I need to figure out the best place to start. Why are people so high on this year's running back draft class when there aren't a lot of teams who need RB1? Okay, I mean,
it's a Interesting question. I mean, I think there are a lot of teams who need running backs, especially after what we just saw this year, right? We saw a team pay the most money we've seen in a long time to a running back in Saquon Barkley, and Saquon was a crucial reason they made it that far. Derrick Henry got a lot of money. Josh Jacobs got a lot of money. Those guys really carried their offenses. Josh Jacobs made a huge impact on the Texans. But, I mean, if you look around the NFL, I do think there are teams that still need running back help. Number one, don't rule the Ravens out. They know how old Derrick Henry is. I think the Bengals, as much as we love Chase Brown, could be looking. The Bears definitely need one. So far, teams that I think will definitely draft or should: Bears, Browns, Cowboys, Broncos. Don't rule out the Texans, by the way. I think the Jags probably will draft someone. I don't know how high. That's 5 teams. I do believe the Vikings will still draft one after Aaron Jones. They made it very clear that they want to split that backfield. That's 6. Chiefs need someone desperately. That's 7. Raiders makes it 8. Giants, I love Tyrone Tracy, but I think they'll draft someone. That's 9. Chargers, 10. I believe they'll draft someone to complement Naji Harris. Patriots, 11. Steelers, 12. Washington. Commanders, 13. Don't rule out the Titans either. I definitely think all those teams need an upgrade at the running back position, in my personal opinion. But I also think it goes beyond just need for this class. This class is genuinely very good. And that is one of the highlights of this class, not only for Dynasty, but from the NFL's perspective. I mean, the NFL, people who are doing these, and they aren't even thinking about fantasy football, they're like, this class is incredibly good. I mean, and then we come out the combine, and these guys just absolutely freaking dominate, right? So I think the class itself is very good. The talent is very strong, and I do think the need is there. But that's my opinion on it. It's becoming very difficult to trade away vet running backs, is what he's saying. So that's probably why he's feeling that. He went to Jared. He talked about this being a orphan. So he didn't put this team in the shithole, but it is in the shithole. It's very clearly the worst team in this league out of 12. It's the only team under 15,000 points of value. It's at almost half that. So clearly a guy like Warnell, a guy like Pack It Up, they might have been more experienced, and the guy that you orphan the team for, they might have, taken advantage of him, which we've all done before. We don't have any picks in 2025, so this is tough. Go ahead.
I think, I was already thinking about it. Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, no QB3, which is really hard in a Superflex league. Bucky Irving, David Montgomery, James Conner, Tony Pollard. Decent running back room there. Not anything crazy at the wide receiver position. You could start up to 5 wide receivers, and here you're starting 5. Chris Olave, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Parker Washington, maybe Adam Thielen, maybe, with Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelce, Hunter Henry, and no 25 first rounders.
The team's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but
it's not.
I do think you're not a serious contender. The difficult part is, when you take over an orphan team, you want to come in day one and you want to start wheeling and dealing. Let's get these old heads off the team. Let's start thinking about the future. Now, the problem with that specifically for your team is all these people are going to sell higher in season.
Yep.
Olave should be more higher valued in season. Tyreek Hill. Devontae Adams, maybe you could sell now, but he's probably going to dominate. Montgomery, Connor. We know running backs that are veterans are always more valuable in season. Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelce. So the issue with this rebuild, and it's very clearly a rebuild when we're talking about pathway, by the way. This is a full rebuild. Is that the majority of these players that you're wanting to trade, you want to trade them in season to really maximize value. Bucky Irving is probably the only name on this team that you could sell right now for proper value. We love Bucky. We almost never tell someone to trade him away, but I kind of think he's the one piece you can move, and then everybody else is a sell-in season.
I completely agree, which kind of gives them a window, in my perspective, to play the in or out scenario. I think it is full rebuild. I don't think they're contend, but he does have enough pieces to fill that flex option. Honestly, one injury away, you're kind of done.
I mean, he has no tight end we can rely on, no top receivers we can rely on. He doesn't have a quarterback too. I think this is.
He actually doesn't have a quarterback. You're right. He doesn't have a quarterback too. I'm thinking Kirk Cousins as a starter. So yeah, it is full rebuild. For some reason, I thought that was Sam Darnold. I think I said Sam Darnold when I read it, but I could be completely wrong.
So overall team grade, I got to be harsh here. You didn't put the team into the ground. You're trying to rebuild it. But right now, currently constructed, no picks this year. D minus.
Overall team grade, D minus.
Draft capital grade. I mean, I got to be harsh here. There's no picks at all in 2025. They've really put you in a tough spot with this rebuild. I would say probably C flat. The holds on this team, there aren't many. I'd probably sell every person at the right price.
Yeah, this is an interesting
Parker
one.
Washington, maybe.
So I'm going to
AJ
change.
Barner.
And for your graphic here, Papa Dunk, normally where you see Untouchables holds, I'm pretty sure you received one in the past. We're going to have a sell option for you. And these are guys that we're going to want you to sell in season. So maybe we can put sell in season on the graphic.
That would be Tyreek. That would be Monty, Connor.
Tyreek. We can honestly put up to 6 people here because I don't think there's any drops on this team.
No, I mean, there's some drops for sure. But I would say Tyreek, Monty, Connor, Goff,
David,
Adams.
Monty.
That's 5. And we can add
Adams,
Pollard.
Jared Goff. Tony Pollard.
What's up, Miss Gorilla? We can't do any like same day right now because our queue is is full, but we are prioritizing team reviews more this week. We're doing multiple streams where we're doing just team reviews. So if you do sign up, there is still a great chance that we get it done in a very quick time fashion. But all these other people have signed up for the live version as well, so we got to make sure and honor them as well in the queue. Okay, as far as drops, you don't have to add in these names, Badaki or whatever, but there are quite a few that he could drop. Devin Singletary, you can easily drop Devin Singletary. Andy Dalton, Cooper Rush are all easy drops. If you want to, Coing and Atwell, you could, but you don't need to drop them. You can hold on to them. There is no untouchable on this team outside of your future picks.
Yeah.
Your future picks should not be going to any other team. They need to remain on your squad. It's a hard rebuild for me. There's no draft capital to talk about, unfortunately. But in season sells, and let's say sells for right now. And again, like, as much as I love Bucky Irving, I can't be too picky right now. I think you need to just completely reset this.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta get what you can for some of these guys. I think
I'm willing to sell Bucky, as hard as that is to say. But in season, I said Jared Goff. We said Montgomery, Connor. We talked about Devontae Adams was on your team. Who else was it? Tyreek Hill. Jonnu Smith, George, who was it? Travis Kelce. Is there anyone else that I'm missing here? Yeah, I mean, Olave's not really like a you need to sell type player. I would also add Tony Pollard. Because again, these guys are going to score fantasy points. And, right now you got just the Dynasty community is notoriously awful at valuing veterans at this point of the offseason. Okay, so in season for Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
I mean, I think you can sell Jared Goff potentially now if for a quarterback needy team, if there is one out there hypothetically.
Okay,
but
let's
his
have
value
a
might
let's
be
have a
higher.
look then. I've found that he's like one of the cheapest of the veterans right now because Ben Johnson left, so it might be hard to sell him. He could recover his value, but if there is a team out there willing to pay, I mean, I don't think Treetop is seriously contending with Daniel Jones as a quarterback one, but if we can find a way to get 2 future firsts from Treetop, and we send them Jared Goff and what do you want to do, like Devontae Adams or something, and Jonnu Smith, let's just send them all of that. I don't know.
He has a pretty good wide receiver in this guy.
Okay,
So
well then let's send him Montgomery instead.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm happy. Even if it's Jared Goff for a late first, I mean, for a first in the future, because I don't think this guy is very good.
Yeah.
Outside of his wide receiver room.
Yeah, if you get a mid-future first for Goff as well, that's ideal.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to sell him for like a late first.
Yeah,
I think people are undervaluing how good he's going to be still. But yeah, late first or mid first is fine. Team 10 needs quarterback help. Could you find your way into like a Waddle plus? Would you do Waddle, A-Rich in a second or something?
Yeah, we could do something like that. This guy doesn't have a first in the future.
And maybe you can send away Goff and Pollard.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with something like that. Let's get some young pieces.
But
Anthony
ideally, you want like a first.
Card.
You know, like this guy has a 108. You know, again, if you can do that, I think that's probably the lowest I'd sell Goff for is the 108. Even then, I feel like we're underselling him. I don't know why. I just think people are way underestimating this offense without Ben Johnson. Okay, Monty. You know, if you can get any first in any year, we would take that. Specifically in season, I think that's going to be more attainable. But assuming you can't get that, how about an early second plus a late second in a future season, right? As far as James Conner goes, I think you're more anticipating like the 203 to 206 in 2025. If you can sell him right now.
Yeah.
Or in the future, right? Tony Pollard, I think you take... I think in season you could probably get a mid-second. Devontae Adams, you know, I think it's the same thing as David Montgomery here for Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it has to be the right time of the season for sure.
100%. A lot of these guys, that's why
that first.
We're putting
especially
him in that tier, right?
if Puka misses time, which he has missed time. Well, he missed time last year. You know, you just gotta wait for those right moments.
The same thing for Tyreek Hill. And again, you're gonna find it maybe frustrating with this team because a lot of these deals you're not gonna get done right now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sit on it for sure.
You hope that Jonnu Smith is a serious contributor again this year, and you can get a late first out of him. Same with Kelsey. You hope he can contribute. Now, Bucky is the one name that I think you can probably sell right now, as much as it hurts my heart. You know, let's look for a running back needy team that has draft capital this year. So, fire-breathing Duckies has the 102 and the 112. I don't think that's a great fit, but let's say like the 112 and would you like 112 in their first next year or something?
Yeah, that can be good.
I mean, you can you could also try and extend your offer and get 2 future firsts right? So you go Bucky, we'll send you Devontae Adams and James Conner as an example, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's kind of good right there, actually.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can stretch this out further and ask for like the 209 or something. You know, I don't know. Yeah, this is heartbreaking.
This is heartbreaking. I mean,
the guy who has the 108, can you do the 108 and a future first? I wouldn't
he
sell him
needs
for less
RB
than
too.
that. How about Treetop? Can we get the 103 and 203? We can send them. What do they need? They need a quarterback, but we would rather offer them like, Connor maybe?
Yeah. Just
and
get it
then
done.
Can they send us like Isaiah Likely as an add-on or something?
Oh boy.
A Pearsall 109 is super interesting.
Where's this guy at?
And maybe we can also ask for a future first if we sent away like Devontae Adams in this deal. Yeah,
that can work.
Could work for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's probably the best one so far.
What about this?
Yeah, I think you're going to run out of options outside of that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that last one there, the Ricky Pearsall. And you know, when you're selling Bucky, if you want to make a big package, ideally you want to use like a Monty, Connor, Pollard, Adams, Tyreek to kind of get that big package over the line. Yeah. Again, in season, again, if you can net any first for Devontae Adams, let's say he starts off as a top 10 receiver and he gets the Mike Evans treatment, as a veteran, you get that late first for him. It would be clutch. You're going to have to be patient with it, though. James Conner, I think you could comfortably sell if you get that value as well.
I agree.
And then we talked about one of the Jared Goff deals.
Yeah, I think those are going to be the easiest guys to sell. James Conner, Devontae Adams, Jared Goff, and Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
The rest are just going to be really dependent on how they perform throughout in season. I think people love the idea of Tyreek Hill, but like, is he 25 points per game Tyreek Hill, or is he 15?
Yeah.
Because I think that's a huge difference. And people will realize that. And once he has 2 or 3 games that he has 25 plus points, you sell to the highest bidder.
Yeah. Shrimmy says these are aggressive deals. 99% of them get shut down, yet somehow we help people complete these deals every single week.
Just depends on your league, brother.
It depends on your league. Everybody values players differently. What we won't do is to tell you undersell something. What we always say is this is a foot in the door, right? So you send the 204 for James Conner. I don't understand how some of these are aggressive, but someone says, I don't want the 204. Okay, wait until in season. Someone's going to send you an early second for a productive running back. Devontae Adams, that's why we said wait until in season. This is if he gets the Mike Evans treatment where he's a veteran that just signed a deal that is putting up top 10 numbers. Otherwise, you can sell him for an early second and a late second. I don't think that's aggressive at all. As far as Bucky Irving goes, we just might view Bucky Irving differently. Bucky Irving is someone I rank as my RB4. I'm very high on him. And me as a creator telling you to sell Bucky Irving, if I'm going to tell you to do that, I need you to absolutely maximize your value on him. Otherwise, I'll just build around him. So that could be where the difference is coming in.
Yeah, but we appreciate you here, Papa Dunk. Let us know if you have any other questions. I don't think you're here with us, obviously, but as you are watching this,
it's a
you
tough
should be
road
receiving
forward.
Yeah, you should be receiving your customized playbook within 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy message system. Of course, you should already know that because you have signed up with us before. I'm already got another team review, and we thank you for getting another one. Thank you so much for the love and support, man. Sorry if it's probably not what you wanted to hear.
I think Papa Dunk probably knew it was a long road ahead. I think if they were honest with themselves, they knew. All right, where is I think we probably do Ryan next.
Yeah, do Ryan and call it maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that was like 7 we did today, so I think that's a good catch up there.
Yeah, we'll do another like 3 or 4 tomorrow, and then we'll have a stream at the after that where we dedicate to team reviews as well. So we'll keep getting through them.
Hopefully Ryan's gonna be here with us. I wonder if Ryan doesn't respond, we just go to the next one, because I think he would have wanted. Well, actually, no. Let's just do it. Let's just do what we did.
Yeah.
Because I know we have the message system, and I think he would rather be with us. Oh, is he?
He's here.
Okay, awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much for the support, as always. Huge supporter of the show. I think you're one of the OGs. You're in Alpha? Bravo? Which one
is Ryan in? Definitely OG. I'm
He's
pretty sure
definitely
Ryan came
OG.
over from
Patreon.
From Patreon, yeah. Alpha.
Yeah, Ryan is in Alpha. Yeah,
one of
so
Alpha
you're
or
OG.
Bravos.
You're OG. You're day ones.
OG.
We appreciate you.
Triple OG,
triple OG.
as
Come on,
some
talk
might
about-
say.
Some? What do you say? Well, what do you mean by some?
I mean you're some.
Oh, okay. So you're referring to maybe a group of people.
Do you represent a
maybe
group of people? I mean,
maybe a
we
specific
all do, right?
race. I don't know.
I mean, I just said it.
I'm
so.
just saying. Okay.
He's always trying to take it there, isn't he? He's always trying to play the card.
This is a 2-quarterback start 9. Meat and potatoes, meaning you can start it to either 4 wide receivers or 4 running backs. It is a 12-team league and a half PP or half-point tight end premium. Let's have a look at your team here. Or let's read this content and then have a look at your team. So this is my home league. Lost a tough one in the semis. Made a trade right before the playoffs. Sent Pacheco, the 109 for Mike Evans. For Mike Evans. I'm assuming this is another trade. Joe Mixon and for Mike Evans, Joe Mixon, and a 26th third. So that's a trade.
Hold on.
So you send Isaiah Pacheco, the 109, for Mike Evans, Joe Mixon, and a 26th third.
Okay, right.
Didn't pan out, but thought I got good value overall. Thoughts on how to move forward and improve? Maybe package a couple wide receivers and upgrade other ideas.
Yeah, in hindsight, Pacheco hasn't really gained value right now, and the 109 is definitely the most valuable piece in this package. But if Mixon retains his role, it's close, huh?
Yeah, I said Joe Mixon is late first, maybe not 109, maybe like more.
I don't think anyone's sitting a first for him. I think he's more of a second rounder. Wow, this league is very unbalanced. Imbalanced is the word I'm looking for there. I don't think we've ever seen 3 teams under a 10,000 point evaluation there. And we're talking 4 under 12,000 point evaluation. Clearly, Ryan knows what he's doing. He's been watching the channel for multiple years. And he's one of the top dogs. Saying, Gators bitches better be wearing their jimmies. That's what Bucky's saying here as one of the top dogs here at number 2 overall. Holy hell, read the team, and I'll get this draft capital.
Lamar Jackson, Drizzy Drake, Caleb Williams, great quarterback room in the Superflex League. At the running back position, you got Shayshawn Barkley, Chase Brown, Tyrone Tracy, Joe Money Bag Mixon, and the list goes on. A great running back room if Chase Brown and Tyrone Tracy can retain their jobs going into 2025. You can start up to 4 wide receivers: Jackson Smith and Jigba, Lab McConkey, Roma Dunze, Jalen Waddle with Xavier Worthy in the wings, George Pickens, Jaden Reed, Shakira, Mike Evans with Darnell Money and Mooney all the way down there with Sam Laporta.
Shakira. I'd love to package some of this depth. We do not need this much depth. We do not need the Reeds and Pickens, Shakirs of the world,
and
Laporta is great
Yeah,
in a tight
I
end
agree.
premium. Let's think about a starting lineup right now. It'd be Jackson, Mayer, Caleb, Saquon, let's say Mixon, but those other guys could start too. JSN, Ladd, Laporta, and then he only needs to start 2 other players, which would be a combination of Adunze, Waddle, Tracy, Brown. It's a very good team. I'd like to tier up with these players. I'd like to package my Shakir and Mixon, my Pickens and Mixon, my Pickens and Brown, and Worthy and Brown, and Tracy's and Waddles, let's think about this. Just looking at this starting lineup, again, nine players. Let's just hypothetically say I'm highlighting the 9 players now, okay? And I want you to think about how much depth is on this team. Let's just say it's 1 of each from each position. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in this hypothetical world, I know injuries, I know buys, right? I get that. We'll still have some depth, but you have Tracy, Waddle, Worthy, Pickens, Reed, Shakir, Evans, 7 players that, if your team stays healthy, will never see your starting lineup, right? So I definitely want to do some sort of packages here and kind of like tier up. I'm not going to say this is a Thanos, but it's a strong contender. It's definitely a strong contender. We have our own pick in 2026, which is great. Like a team like this, I'm not afraid to send my 26 first in one of these packages to go out there and get a top dog either. You know what I mean? I don't really want to tier down personally in a league like this. I want to keep Lamar. I want to keep top heavy. I want to keep my Saquon. But yeah, I think we can tier up from Laporta, from Waddle, from Brown, from Tracy, across the board. Did I give an overall team grade?
You did not.
Okay. A
I
minus.
would say this would be A minus team, just because
We're a couple moves away from an A flat, tearing up.
What's draft capital?
They're all late firsts. He's probably gonna have a late first in 26. The draft capital is not gonna be revolutionary. I'd say like B minus.
Okay.
And we're definitely a contender. Let's go through admin here. Your untouchables are Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't consider Saquon untouchable, but in your format, unless you can trade him for the 101, I think probably he meets the bill. Holt would be Adunze. We will add.
Maybe we can do 4 or 2 holds and then 4 drops.
Let's do Adunze and Caleb as our holds. I don't really want to move any of your quarterbacks, to be honest. As far as drops, we've got plenty of options here between Taj, Corley. Zamir is probably the #1 drop that comes to mind. And then, I want to hold on to Troy Franklin. You got a lot of names, and I want to convert these into one player, like 3-for-1s. If you had to, AJ Barner, I don't really want to drop him, but AJ Barner. Your waiver wire is butt-ass naked. So you probably have deep benches.
He's naked. Tell it to him.
All admin done there?
All admin is done.
Okay, let's come over to the chalkboard. Okay, I am probably going to advocate that we don't use any of these picks, by the way.
I agree. We should maximize package, the 111, maybe a Pickens, maybe a Reed, maybe a Shakira. Go get a stud. Go get somebody special, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. I think tier up is probably the route, but if he sticks and picks, you can go any direction you want. Your team has no real true needs, right? I mean, this type of range, you're going to be in range for like one of these names, the Caleb Johnson, Ward, Sanders, Igbuka, Loveland, Warren. It'll be one of these names there. The second round, you'll take a shot probably on a running back, but your Arroyos there, all those running backs we love, Jalen Royals, Trey Harris, the Iowa State boys, right?
Yeah, and Ryan, jump in at any point in time, by the way.
Yeah, But with this team, it's just tear up city across the board. Okay, so I'd like to use Chase Brown, and I'd like to package Chase Brown with George Pickens, and I'd like to package that with the 111.
Oh yeah, get him
right.
Get him in. What
Pickens, Brown, the 111. I want to move up and grab a. I'll pay even more, but I want to target like Bijan and Gibbs. And I know we're gonna have to pay more, so bear with me. But let's just set the foundation here. We can overpay with the assets that we have. Who has Gibbs? Hopefully it's not one of these top dogs. It is a top dog. Who has Bijan?
Bijan is tanking for JJ.
Okay, so perfect. He wants to tank. Let's give him the 111. Let's give him Chase Brown. Let's give him George Pickens. And, I mean, KTC is not going to be perfect here. I'm just curious, like, their reference point. Is this a Titan Premium or not? It is a Titan Premium. So I just want to know, like, their reference point. What did I put there so far? I went Chase Brown. I went Pickens. I went the 111. That's where I'm starting at, right? So KTC says this package is more valuable. That's why KTC is an inherently flawed tool. I mean, I guarantee you, if you went to rankings on Flock, and I haven't updated my rankings, by the way, of George Pickens. I need to do that.
Start 9.
But I guarantee if you use expert consensus, you come here and you go Dynasty. What is this? It's start 9?
Yeah, start 9.
12 team, Titan Premium. 2, 4, 6,
Chase,
7,
Pickens,
8, 9.
The 111. And for Bijan.
Yeah.
Submit.
Guarantee you our calculator is going to say, what says fair trade? What about if we use my rankings? All of us haven't updated since the George Pickens trade. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, mine says you win. Well, what does that say? No, I'm kidding. Mine says you win this trade by getting Bijan Robinson. So look, if that's possible, I think that's like the most ideal outcome, because then your starting lineup turns out to be Lamar, May, or Williams, Saquon, Bijan, JSN, Ladd, Laporta, and then we're flexing Mixon or Tracy and Adunze or Waddle, and there's still a shit ton of depth on this team that we don't even need to use. But I'm also willing to pay like the 209 on top of this if we need to.
Agreed.
I would pay, and if this guy's wanting to rebuild, this could be a really interesting package for him. I would also add, I mean, I would probably add Shakir to get this done too. Is that crazy to say?
I mean, I would say yes. I think Shakir is someone that I value. I would rather put Darnell Mooney.
This guy's rebuilding. He's not going to want Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, that's true. But the reason why I say that is because I believe Shakir is the #1 guy long term.
Okay, what if we ask back?
We can ask for something small in return, for sure.
Yeah, like a future third or something, you know.
Something. It can be anything.
But I'd be willing to overpay for Bijan in this scenario, and of course, the same goes for Gibbs there as a package.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're probably never going to start Shakir anyway, but
yeah,
I think he will be the guy I would want to keep over. You know,
how about
Mooney stuff.
Chase Brown in the 111 for Devon Achane? Like that's a deal I would do.
Yeah.
And that's apparently more valuable on KTC. Now, look, if you're feeling, Ryan, that you believe that Chase Brown is going to keep his job, I have no problem with you holding here. If you want to replace Tyrone Tracy in some of these deals and try it, I have no problem with that either. So just keep that in mind. I mean, even if we want to go like mix in Waddle and switch up the package a little bit here. Mixon plus Waddle plus the 111. Let's see a team that needs running back here. All right, so
gosh, these bottom teams are just
Are
really bad.
Truly awful, yeah. What's even the deal that we just set up? Mixon, Waddle, and the 111. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that for Jonathan Taylor. I wouldn't do it for Breece Hall anymore. That's a little bit more difficult. But, I mean, you could do that. We could also look at, like, wide receiver here instead. For example, one of these guys had CeeDee Lamb.
Team Wikipedia Reading Club.
Yeah, so they have CeeDee Lamb. They're clearly not a good team. Can we target CeeDee Lamb here? Yeah. Mixon, Waddle, and the 111. You know, surely that gets a conversation started. Okay, so they're countering and they actually want Tracy instead. Or instead of Waddle, they actually prefer Pickens. You know? Like, we can afford to do these type of deals where we're just tearing up everywhere. Or we can say, if you don't want a running back, what if I gave you Shakir as well in Waddle? You know?
Yeah,
in the 111, you know?
Yeah, I like that one as well.
But, I mean, these are the type of deals we're trying to do everywhere. And I would say for running back, like, I'm not going to do this type of deal for a Taylor, Breece, Jacobs, Kyron. It needs to be these top names like Achane, Irving, Bijan, Gibbs. Otherwise, I'm not really interested. At wide receiver, you know, we can let's have a look at this. Let's try and find a team that just like CeeDee Lamb, if there's another one out there that has like just this top end issue. You guys have really kind of ravaged some of these teams, but even like Rashee Rice, you can afford, and Trey McBride. Who has Brock Bowers? Okay, hold on. I'm getting too excited here. Rashee Rice, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers. Who has Brock Bowers in this league?
Team 1 has Brock Bowers, so that's probably not doable.
Oh, yeah, probably not because they know what they're doing. Who has
Trey McBride is on one of these bad teams. Train wreck.
Okay, so we're going to send you... Ooh, McBride and
Rice.
Let's do this. Trey McBride plus Rashee Rice. And we're going to give you Sam Laporta. We'll give you Khalil Shakir. We'll give you Tyrone Tracy and the 111.
Yeah.
I think it's an overpay, but I'm willing to do it. You know, can you do the deal without Tracy? Then try that first.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Do you only want to go out there and get Rashee Rice? Well, how about we offer them... I'm trying to remember who we have off the top of my head. We give them Pickens.
He has Pickens. He has Worthy. He has Reed. He has Joe Mixon.
Let's say like Reed in the 111 for Rashee Rice. I still think we can get a plus back on this. Who is the team name again? Yeah, right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, can you get the? Can you just throw in like a Pacheco or something for this?
Yeah, we can.
He asked about Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors.
So let's look at the Neighbors team.
Malik Neighbors is on chasing the cup.
So yeah, we could. This guy should be open to tearing it all down. So we can offer, I mean, pretty much the same deal. Like, take all these deals we just mentioned for CeeDee Lamb and make it Malik Neighbors instead. You know?
Yeah.
These Malik Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb deals are all interchangeable with Neighbors, CeeDee, Jefferson, Brian Thomas, Puka. You know, all those names, I'd say. Yeah.
No, this is great. Ryan, genuinely, like, you're just a piece away.
I think you're like
consolidating.
You're like 1 trade away from being in a much better spot, but you're like 3 trades away from being a Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to leave the floor open to Ryan, though, and see what questions he had if we didn't answer anything well enough.
Yeah, let us know if you have any other questions, Ryan. I'll give you the spiel. 72 hours until you receive your customized playbook in the Flock Fantasy Message System, customized with everything that we drew up here today for you. But first of all, thank you so much for being a huge supporter of us since day one. Second, the floor is yours.
Yes.
Very strong contender.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to say no to Bauer's deal, by the way. Like, I'll just say if you can do, like, Laporta. I don't think someone's going to accept Laporta in the 111 for Bauer's. But, I mean, if you can add on, like, Joe Mixon there or something, you know, some player like that, I would totally do it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Ryan says that's very helpful. You guys have given me a ton of good tracks to run with, which is great to hear. I think my favorite deal was the Bijan deal we talked about.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of that deal. Also love the idea of getting like Achan. We talked about like a CD Lamb. Which one did you say?
No, I like that one as well. We can get a Jamie Rice one.
Yep, that's a great one. And then Lamb or Neighbors. I mean, we can highlight Neighbors if we want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate you, Ryan. Like Badaki said, you'll get your team playbook within 72 hours. And to everybody else out there, now's a great time to sign up because we are putting more emphasis into these reviews this week. We'll be doing 2 streams. It's the first out of 2 that are completely dedicated to live team reviews. But yeah, definitely check out the pinned comment if you want to become an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. That is the best way to get the most bang for your buck and also get the team playbook. But last thing I'll say is if you want to be a part of today's video, I'm going to record, well, I'll record it tomorrow technically. But if you have a trade where you've sent away a 2nd round pick, reply to this tweet that I just put in the chat and you'll probably be featured on our next video. I think that's it.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Sign up. Yep. Sign up, get your team review, man. Come on, come through.
All right, guys. We will see you in the very near future. Nothing but love.